Welcome to Powering Through Life, and I'm your host, Teresa Sims. Each week on Powering Through Life, my guest and I will discuss a special topic that is close to their heart. Together, we will explore the challenges they have faced in life and learn what strategies and tools they have used to power through their life. So welcome to Powering Through Life. Hi, and welcome back today to Powering Through Life. And I have a really incredible guest with me today. Very excited about this one. Her name is Susan Prober. And Susan, her path is about sharing self-compassion and life transformation through yoga, holistic life coaching, and women's retreats. Things that are important to her for other women's happiness and their well-being. It's Susan's passion and Dharma to serve other people who are seeking to elevate their personal vision and break through emotional barriers. Now that I've got that all said, Susan, welcome to Powering Through Life.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad you're here today. I was not sure about that one word. Is it Dharma?
Dharma, sure. That's a Sanskrit word, a yogic word. People who are familiar with the yogi sort of Sanskrit language, it basically means your life purpose, your God-given or your universal purpose, what you're driven to do because it's part of you, it's in you, your true self.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So is that what brought you to yoga and coaching?
Oh gosh, what brought me to yoga and coaching is kind of a roundabout story. No, what brought me to yoga and coaching was a discovery of my Dharma, but I discovered my Dharma or my passion for all of that when I went through a life change, a personal life change, when I left the corporate world. I have a corporate background for many years and never really gave yoga much of a thought other than, gee, I'd like to try yoga someday. But I never really had time for yoga. I was busy working, grinding the 9 to 5 or the 9 to 9 sometimes. And I thought that was sort of my life. And I worked it. I had a good job, had many good jobs, a number of good jobs, and never really thought about anything other beyond that. But when it was that I decided to stop that because I kind of got burnt out after a number of years, that's when suddenly I really didn't know who I was anymore. And that's when a bunch of things happened, to be honest with you, Teresa. I went into a clinical depression, started a real downward spiral, lost my whole identity, didn't know who I was anymore because I wasn't working. And my husband and I moved from one state to another. I didn't know anybody. I had no job, no purpose, no sense of anything. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I've made the biggest mistake in my life. And I wandered into a yoga studio. I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I've always wanted to try it, never had time. Let me do this. And I instantly fell in love with yoga. It was not one of these things like, oh yeah, I'll go back and try it a couple times. And it's pretty cool. I just fell in love with it automatically. I thought, oh my God, this is so wonderful. And it wasn't, the thing that a lot of people feel about yoga. Oh, I need to stretch, or I need to get in shape, or I need to get my body moving. And those are all part of yoga. And those are all good things about yoga. But that's not what yoga meant for me initially. It was more of yoga touched my mind, and it touched my spirit, and it touched my soul the way nothing ever had before. And I just knew that first yoga lesson that I had when I laid down on my mat at the end of the class, and I was in Shavasana, which is also called corpse pose, and I laid there and I thought, oh my God, I have found something that touches my very being, and I'm coming back for more. And I did, and I never looked back. I never looked back, and I knew that that was going to change my life. And it was a very important tool that did change my life. It wasn't the only thing, but that did change my life for sure.
That's incredible. It sounds like a peaceful reconnection with your spirit and who you really are and who you really were when you lost sight of it. It was the yoga that reconnected you.
Yes,
to who you are.
absolutely.
That's a beautiful story of awakening. Oh my goodness.
It truly was. It truly was an awakening.
Now, may I ask, when you were experiencing your first yoga session, what did you feel on the inside? Did you feel tingling? Did you feel home? Did you feel like it was right?
I felt all of those, but mostly I felt home. I didn't feel like breaking it down in tears or crying. And some people do that. Some people weep because it's just such an emotional release for them. But I felt home. It felt so pleasant and such a connection to my spirit that I wanted more. And I started going to that studio 4 or 5 times a week because it felt so good. It was such a pleasurable feeling to me. I just had to have more.
I hope you went up to that instructor and said, oh my goodness, you're such a gift to this world.
I had many different instructors initially because I just kept going to different classes, and I became sort of like, oh, here's that new girl, and they kind of all began to recognize me. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a great thing to have happen. And you know what? It was obviously meant to be for you. And finding something that's such a powerful tool on your journey is unbelievable that it happened, just like that. And
Yeah.
you see the light radiating from your face when you talk.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what did you do next with it then?
Well, I had been going to school to yoga classes for about a week, about a year. And then teacher training came up. The school offered teacher training. And I thought, I don't know, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And I decided to go for teacher training for my own personal enhancement. I thought, well, I'm going to learn how to do things better for myself, to just enhance my own practice. And I'm going to learn more about the history of yoga and the anatomy, and I'll get, I'll get more out of what yoga really means, and I'll get exposure to different styles of yoga. So I enrolled in the teacher training. And lo and behold, during the teacher training, I had like a couple of little mini epiphanies happen. And one was that I like teaching. And 2 was that there were a couple of styles that I got exposed to during the teacher training that just really resonated to me. And one of them is Yoga Nidra, which is a type of sort of a guided meditation that helps people with stress and sleep and finding their true self, and helping people with maybe trying to break bad habits. And then yin yoga, which is also a type of yoga that some studios don't even teach. But if you are lucky enough to find a studio that teaches it, it's a wonderful thing because it's a lot more introspective, and it's not a power yoga, it's not a hot yoga, it's not a vinyasa yoga. It's something that you're on your mat for most of the time, and it works the deeper tissues in the body. So I had that all happen to me during my teacher training. And then when I got out of my teacher training, I thought, I'm going to do a retreat. And
Why
I
not?
did.
Why not?
And I did. I took students to Italy, and we had a wonderful time. It was just fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful scenery and doing yoga and improving your health and your mindset and your peace.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just never stopped. I've just kept on learning. I've gotten certified in Yoga Nidra, and I'm working towards my 300 hours in Yin Yoga now. And I'm like a lifetime student. I just try to keep getting more information and more learning. And I got my life coach certification, and I just want to share what I've gone through and what's helped me with other women.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can all use that because
Mhm.
I know I incorporate yoga a lot into my practice or my exercise routine,
Mhm.
along with Pilates and
Oh,
active
Pilates.
stretching and stuff. So and cycling. So yoga is one thing that I need to do more of because I feel extremely peaceful,
Hmm.
and focused, I guess, is another
Yeah,
way to put it, because I usually sometimes, when you're busy doing so many different things, you can't focus. But taking that step away and just like doing yoga for 20 minutes or half an hour just to clear the fog and everything is a really good practice to do, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm really interested in that yin yoga.
Oh, you should really try. Do you, well, I know right now nobody's leaving home or doing much, but you can find yin yoga. I mean, I teach yin yoga myself. I do a free retreat, mini retreat on my Facebook group where I teach yin, but you can find yin yoga on YouTube. You can find people teaching yin yoga online a lot. So you should look for it.
That's great. I will do that. Thank you very
Yes.
much. So
Hmm.
why are you so passionate about yoga nidra and meditation?
Because I think um, personally, that is what helped me. Um, that is what helped me work my way through a lot of emotions and fears, and a lot of the things that I needed to break through to um, to become happier in my life. And I think that people have sort of a negative block about meditation sometimes. I think, okay, sometimes when people hear the word meditation, they think it's very hard. They think, oh, I can't meditate. I can't clear my head of thoughts. I'm always thinking of things. I'm thinking of the laundry, or I'm thinking of my grocery shopping, or I'm thinking of all the things I need to do. I can't meditate. However, when I think of meditation, and the way I teach meditation is I like to introduce students initially to guided meditation, because you don't have to sit there and try to make your mind a blank slate, right? You can listen to somebody guide you through something, and at the same time you get the benefits of a meditation. You get the lowered heart rate, you get the lowered blood pressure, you get all of the physical and emotional benefits that come with a meditation. And then yoga nidra is even far above and beyond that, because no, yoga nidra actually works your muscles while you're doing a yoga nidra. It's a whole journey through the body and through the mind at the same time. And yoga nidra brings you to a point where you're like in a twilight sleep, and but you're not asleep. And in that place of twilight sleep, the person who is not the guide, not me, not the teacher, but the person who is actually practicing the yoga nidra on the floor on their mat, is able to find either uh, maybe a fear, or some sort of a blockage in their own emotional life, or a passion that they forgot about long time ago, and they're able to journey within themselves and look for these things and find these things. It could be something like, I know this is a bad thing, especially for women to even bring this up, but it could be something like, a eating habit, or an overspending habit, or something that a person is struggling with, and you don't admit it consciously, but subconsciously you admit it when you're in this twilight yogic sleep. And then you journey more, and you come out of the yoga nidra. And when you come out of the yoga nidra, your subconscious mind remembers that. You may not remember that when you are awake again, but your subconscious mind has remembered that. And then the more you practice the nidra, the better you are at helping yourself fight that fear or that habit, or finding that passion again and rekindling it. It's a remarkable tool. It really is.
It sounds like it. And then once you've identified what it is, if it comes to you in your subconscious, or that gray area, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Once you've identified it, that's a good place for a coach to step in.
Absolutely.
And help.
And that's exactly what I do.
Yeah. And that's perfect, because then you can make lasting change, which will stop or eliminate that negative behavior.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
That's fascinating. I like it. Wow.
Yeah. And usually what happens is when, if a person's practice it with me initially, they may not really remember it the first time, but the second or third time, then they'll be like, oh yeah, this is familiar now. And so then they're far more open to working on whatever it is that has come up, because it's come up more than once. And so then we can go a little bit further and try to come up with a plan.
That's fantastic. It's kind of like remembering it slowly, or, like it's not all of a sudden an event from your past comes up and hits you in the head and you're blindsided by it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a more gentle exposure to it, where it's so it's easier to deal with that way, I think.
Absolutely. And I'm not talking like childhood trauma things.
Yeah.
We're not getting into that. We're just talking about, like finding your passion again.
Yeah. Because a lot of us forget it. And,
Absolutely.
like you were talking originally, that you had lost your identity and your purpose and all that sort of thing. I've also been there as well. And I know how difficult that step away from that is, to find what it is you're supposed to do. And, you keep searching and searching and searching. And it's just the simplest thing that can all of a sudden trigger it, like you walking into a yoga studio. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful gift that was.
It was. It truly was. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You must have just lit up.
I did. And even my husband, he just noticed that difference in me. He was like, what's going on with you? Something's happened. Something's different, And I have to admit, it wasn't just yoga. And I don't want anybody of your listeners to think that it was just yoga that immediately made this difference in me. I was clinically depressed. So clinically depressed people need help. Yes. And so if anybody in your audience is there, continue to see your doctor or do whatever it is that you need to do to help yourself. I was seeing a doctor, and that was an important part of my steps to get myself well. However, along with that, I was doing yoga, I was doing meditation. And in the yoga studio, I found a tribe of women that were just so loving and caring, that all of that made me well. And I just know that I couldn't have gotten well only with a doctor and pills. I just know that would not have happened.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not saying that this is a replacement for any therapy or treatment or anything like that anyone's having, but it's in addition to.
Yes.
Always in addition to. And, if it's not yoga per se, find what it is that makes you and your spirit sing. But for you, it was yoga and meditation. And Geez, that's I need to get back at my yoga. You inspired me. Thank you very much. That's actually what I needed, and that's why you're such a good coach, isn't it?
Well, I like to think so. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Susan, what is it that makes your sessions unique?
Well, I have a real holistic approach to my sessions, and depending upon the client that I'm working with, sometimes we will not only practice with yoga and meditation, yoga nidra. Sometimes we will also utilize aromatherapy. We will create a blend of oils, sometimes specifically for whatever it is that their passion or their whatever it is that has come up in their coaching. But that's personalized just for them. And also, sometimes we work with crystals, in not a Reiki way. I'm not a Reiki master, and I don't practice Reiki. I'm very interested in it, but I don't know enough about it to even claim to be involved in it. But I do work a lot with crystals personally. I make grids, and I have a large crystal collection, and I know a lot about crystals. So sometimes I will recommend crystals for people who have certain attributes or I don't know, fears or certain interests themselves. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I will even create a grid for someone who is coming to me for their coaching session on a particular day. I'll create like a small mini grid, and we'll talk about it during the session. And then one of the things, I've had a couple of people speak to me that they're interested in oracle cards or affirmation cards. And so I have used that along with crystals for them. I don't do that often, and that's really only at somebody's request, but I have used that also. And what I also do at a certain point in my coaching program with a client is I create like a booklet for them, so that when they feel that they are ready, I will have all of that information, my recommendations for their continued progress, their yoga sequences, their meditation, maybe even a MP3 link to a guided meditation or a yoga nidra that's specific for them, an aromatherapy blend that is specific for them, or a couple of oils that they can use in their diffuser. And then recommended crystals as well. So it's very personalized.
Yeah, sounds like it. So it's all of your tools that you're using are to awaken and incorporate all of the different senses that we have, mm-hmm. so that it causes change within us, or causes awakening within us, so that we mm-hmm. can make change, right?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing you're doing. Oh, no wonder you're smiling so much. It sounds fantastic. So,
thank you.
Do you have a favorite quote or saying, Susan, that you like to use?
Oh, well, I have many, and I think the one that I wrote down for you was from, I can't even give his name right now.
Dale Carnegie?
Dale Carnegie, yes, Think and Grow Rich. And, I've read that book. I read that book in high school. And then I think I read it again in college. I think it was mandatory reading. And I have it on my Audible, one of my Audible books that I sometimes read. And it's not about growing rich, financially. I just think when you listen to that book or read that book, it's a rich life, mm-hmm. Because that man just never said no to anything about, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I won't do this, or I won't do that. It was the power of positivity. Mm-hmm. And I just found that amazing. And I'm sure I did give you one of his quotes, and I can't remember it.
Oh, I have it right here in front of
you. You do?
Yes. So
tell me.
If you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. go out and get busy.
That's right.
Dale Carnegie.
And that sounds so much like something I would say to one of my clients or a friend or a yogi or anybody that I'm having a conversation with. You know, even now with this pandemic situation that we're in, you know, we're also afraid, and I get it, but you still have to get over that fear. You still have to move beyond it. And okay, you're still working from home and you're still moving beyond it. And that's what you have to do. You cannot become frozen with fear no matter what happens in your life. And I'm such a believer in that. And I a little bit of a story here. I went to, as a child, I went to parochial school. And God bless my parents, my dear departed mother. My dad is still up in Boston, 94 years old, but they did the best they could, and they sent me to me and my brother to parochial school. And I was petrified the whole time. I was petrified and intimidated, and always thought I was not good enough, because it was an intimidating place to be and an intimidating way to be taught. And it wasn't until I got out of parochial school at high school age and went to public school that I actually found out I was smart and I wasn't stupid, and I was on the honor roll all the time.
Wow.
So, you know, sometimes you're in fear because other people put you there, right? But if you have a way to move beyond your fear, then my gosh, go for it. Move beyond it. Do not let fear stop you. And that lesson that I learned from that experience was such an eye-opener for me that I just know fear's never going to stop me, because it stopped me for 8 years of my life when I was in parochial school.
Wow.
It can't stop me. It just can't stop me, and I won't let it stop me.
Good for you. And that's what we all need. Fear is just a state of mind, I think, that's
Mm-hmm.
because we're unsure about something or we
Yeah.
haven't done something. But once you've tried something, there should be no fear associated with it afterward. And we have to conquer our fears. Those are our limiting beliefs. And
That's
had
right.
you listened to that limiting belief, you would not be where you are today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad you are where you are today. This has been just fascinating, Susan.
Thanks.
Is there any other information that you would like to leave the listeners with today?
Well, if there's anybody who would like to just talk with me or learn more about me, they can go to my website, which is susanproperyoga.com. But really, the most important thing I would like to tell people is that I work with women, okay, and I always will work with women because I just understand women. So listen to your heart, follow your intuition, and know that it's never too late. I just truly believe that no matter what you go through in life, if you follow your heart and follow your dreams, you can't go wrong.
That is profound. And that is absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you.
Oh, I am so glad we got to do this today.
I am too. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And when your segment goes up, we'll have all your contact information listed.
Okay.
So please, everyone, get in touch with Susan if you want to learn about finding yourself, finding your truth, finding your happy place through yoga, meditation, whatever it may be, coaching. Find Susan and get on that journey today with her. Oh my goodness, I'm going to go check some things out right now. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening to Powering Through Life.
That brings to a close another great, inspiring interview on Powering Through Life. Thank you to my incredible guest for sharing your thoughts and wisdoms with our listeners. If you would like to connect with us, go to www.teresasims.com, and there you will also find all the previous segments from many amazing and inspiring people. Remember, don't be shy. Reach out if you have any questions, or just leave me a comment. So thank you once again for listening to Powering Through Life.